Please introduce the Lecsail framework briefly.
I'll be glad to. The Lecsail framework for reading was developed by Metametics, a research organization. We developed a way to put readers and text on a common scale so that you can match a reader to text. We work very closely with government organizations, ministries of education, and many, many partners who are test publishers or book publishers. And we don't directly sell a product. We often refer to ourselves as the Intel Inside. We put our intellectual property into other people's products. Today, as a result of being able to match reader to text, we have some technologies that we license to partners that blend instruction and assessment, a very unique combination. As I mentioned before, we work with a lot of partners. In the United States, we work very closely with the federal government, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and we hope to be able to do the same thing here in Korea.
How can the Lecsail framework to help one's English skill?
So the Lecsail framework, being a way to measure readers and to measure text, enables us to match a reader with a text. And when a reader and a text are effectively matched, learning is more efficient. And so a text is not so difficult that you become frustrated. It's not so easy that you don't benefit and you don't improve your skill. And so it provides a very direct and efficient and easy to understand tool for teachers, for parents, for learners to find the right material and grow at a more efficient pace.
How can we plan to improve English reading skill by Lecsail framework?
Being a skill, there's really no substitute for practice. And so it's not enough to read once a month and expect that you can grow. So what's important to improving your reading skill is to read every day, to read the right level of text every day. And that's where the Lecsail framework can help. It provides a way to get the best practice, to get deliberate, targeted practice. And if I were a tennis player and my first match was against Roger Federer, I would never improve and I would probably give up the sport. Reading is the same. You need to find the right materials and you need to read every day over a long period of time. That's the only way to improve your reading skill.
What English method is effective for students under age 7?
The Lecsail framework for reading was designed for children who have mastered some independent reading skill. We continue to do some research to help us understand how children gain that skill, how they first recognize characters and begin to sound those characters out. But for very young children, the best thing to do is to make it an enjoyable experience. The parents should work with children, give them books that are of real interest to the kids, read aloud to them, read slowly, allow the children to read back until they begin to develop some independent reading skill.
Korean students spend many time and money to study English. What do you think is the problem in teaching market?
I don't believe that there is a problem. I actually think from coming to Korea and visiting other countries that the Koreans are far ahead of other non-native English speakers in their acquisition of English skills. I think that we all want to have things happen faster, but there is no shortcut to learning any new skill and to mastering that skill. I think the Koreans have done a wonderful job.
Who are the main business partner of Metametrix in Korea?
In Korea, we're really just getting started. We've been working in Korea now for a couple of years, and we do have some good partners. Scholastic, who's a big partner with us domestically, is working in Korea and selling the Scholastic Reading Inventory, which I was surprised and excited to see in use in the Busan English Library when I visited last October. We're also working with Learn 21, who is selling the TOEFL Junior test, which is produced by ETS, who is another of our good partners. The TOEFL test, an ETS test, is a partner. That's a test that's been linked. On the book publishing side, we do have some book publishers, and we do have some booksellers. And so Interpark Books, for example, has the ability to search for books using Lexile measures.
How does reading influence in learning, speaking, and listening?
Reading is a foundational skill, and so if your interest is in learning to speak or in learning to write or in learning to listen, reading is still an essential skill in building those skills. We have, in fact, linked the Lexile framework for reading and also created the Lexile framework for writing, and so we're able to also put writing into the same scale. And we've looked at this relationship, and there's a very clear relationship. Better readers are better writers. Better readers tend to be better speakers and better listeners. And so as one is practicing their speaking or practicing their listening, reading more often is going to expose you to the language. It's going to help you build your overall language skills. And so there's a very close relationship between reading and the other modalities of language.
Why are Lexile measures important in English learning?
There are three reasons that I would say Lexile measures are most important. One is that they're effective, that it's good science and it helps people improve. We can effectively match readers and text and create better reading experiences. The second reason is because the scale is developmental. It helps to communicate somebody's ability and the difficulty of text from the beginning of their reading journey until they're in a post-secondary environment when they're in the college and the university. And we can quantify those expectations to give people goals that matter, meaningful goals. So it's meaningful information. The third reason they're important is because they're easy to use. They're accessible. You can find them widely in libraries, in bookstores, in the many dozens of partners that we have that have Lexile products. And so for those three reasons, Lexile measures are very important to English education.
What is future vision of Metametrix?
I think that's a pretty simple question for us. We have had very good success in the United States. As Todd mentioned, there are over 30 million students today that learn to read using this combination of matching reader to text. We would like to be able to do the same thing in other countries around the world. It is a very powerful tool, and we'd like to see more children learn to read English using this powerful tool. So our goal would be to have more book publishers report Lexile measures on books, more test publishers include Lexile reader measures, and to work with more ministries of education to link those assessments and be able to report a Lexile measure.